Congratulations. So imagine how different this was earlier in the week when you got together for the first time. Most of you had never seen the venue. You're all in your little pods, your team pods. And now this is the end result that we love so much of RobotX and the other programs that we do, when the relationships that you've made through the week start to infiltrate everything that goes on. And we strongly encourage you to share your contact information, to stay in touch, because this group of people that is assembled here will be responsible for doing phenomenal things for the benefit of the world as you go forward in your careers. And you need to share that. You're going to be collaborating with each other. Sometimes you may not see someone else for another 5 or 10 years, but that's going to come back, and you're going to be the beneficiaries, and the rest of us will benefit from the good things that you all do. So, in advance of the wonderful things you're going to do, thank you. All right. That's me. I'm Daryl Davidson, President and CEO of RoboNation, and it has been an amazing week. You've all learned a lot. We've learned that drones don't swim and boats don't fly. Valuable lessons, no matter what the fluids people tell you. But it's just been a phenomenal week of persistence, of success and performance, of resilience, of no sleep and proving what you're capable of doing without sleep, and really just demonstrating the benefits and the outcomes of the hard work that y'all have done to get yourselves here. It's unfortunate for us, this only happens every 2 years, but we would do one of these every week if we could. So stay tuned, maybe we'll ramp it up. Yeah, exactly. All right, in addition, there's a large group of people that have made this week possible. When it's daylight, and what you guys have seen is the amount of work that goes into the course, to getting your boats in the water, out of the water, to addressing all of the things that happen, the people in the tent, the people outside of the tent, on the water and around. And I just want to ask the volunteers and the staff that are here to stand up, those that aren't already standing, because they're the ones that really make RobotX happen. Thank you. Thank you. They've all said that they're perfectly happy if you buy them a drink after the award ceremony. So just throwing that out. All right, we also have another group of people that have been working hard and spending long days on the water with you, on kayaks, on boats, and just deliberating and paying attention to everything that you do. And those are the judges. Most of them come from Navy labs and other similar backgrounds, but they are subject matter experts. They're professionals that take away a lot from being here, but also gain a lot and add a lot by just their presence here. So I want to ask the judges, I know some of them are standing, raise your hands please, or stand if you're not, and I want to thank the judges for all the work they put into this. And closest to my heart are all of the people that work for RoboNation. I'm the one that stands here, but they're the ones that really do all the hard work to allow this to happen. They spend countless hours all year long slaving away to make these things as good as they are. They are not just workers, they are people that are passionate and dedicated to each one of you and to the impact that our programs have on each of you individually. And I see it day in and day out, and I don't always express it nearly as much as I should, but I want to say thank you to all of the RoboNation staff for their dedication and hard work. And lastly, we've got a group of people that have contributed money and hardware and other support, and our sponsors. So our sponsors this year are MathWorks, SpaceX, OnShape, Blue Robotics, Avex Aerospace, Hydronolix, Cadence, and a number of others. So let's thank those sponsors. But the one that I neglected to mention was on purpose, and that is because this event would not occur without the tremendous support and financial support of the U.S. Office of Naval Research. And ONR has been a significant part and really the driver in coming up with this event. 12 years ago is when we really came up with the concept, and it took 2 years to make the first RobotX happen in 2014 in Singapore. And our program officer that has taken over the mantle that Kelly Cooper used to have is Chris Buzzle. And I want Chris to come up now and speak on behalf of ONR. Thank you, Chris.
So congratulations to all of you for making it through the week. You should give yourselves a round of applause. Also, like to thank all the judges and staff and everyone who made this possible, especially Juliana, who has been your main point of contact throughout this, through leading up to the event, including the whole event, really. She's done a tremendous job, so I just want to thank Juliana. So next I'd like to recognize, so our next slide has our Navy volunteers. And so these are the folks who came from the Naval Labs. I think you've had a chance to speak to a lot of them. Part of this event is for us, not just the science, technology, engineering, and math portion, the STEM portion, but workforce development, getting you interested in potentially working for the Navy, working in research for the Navy. And so thank you to all our volunteers. This is a list of all the organizations. If you would like to, if you didn't get their contact information and would like to reach out to any of them or myself, please contact RoboNation. I believe they'll be sending out an email to all of you. So you should be receiving all this contact information. And reach out, anything you need, even if you don't want to come work for the Navy, but you want to go and work for one of our defense contractors or anyone else, if there's anything we can do, we'd like to keep you in the robotics career, so feel free to reach out. Next, I just want to mention the NREAP program and our Naval STEM opportunities for you. And so this is just our website up here, so feel free to look us up. I know a number of you have been NREAP interns and have applied for next year. So if you are applying at a specific lab that you really want to go to, feel free to, and they were here, feel free to reach out to them. That might help you get in there, or email us and we'll try to connect you with someone from one of those labs. For the international students, or even the U.S. students from who are international, we are trying to work through how we can help you out. There are ONR Global. We have an Office of Naval Research Global, so we have science directors around the world who will fund research. So if you're a university professor, would like to reach out to those offices, feel free to contact us and we'll put you in touch. And now I am going to introduce my boss, so I'm going to read this so I don't get this wrong. Rear Admiral Rothenhaus is the senior military officer in charge of the United States Navy's scientific research and leading the Office of Naval Research. In this role, he is responsible for basic research, applied research, and advanced technology development, including coordination with other research and development agencies within the U.S. and around the world. He also serves as the Naval Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Executive, leading coordination across the U.S. Navy's education and outreach efforts to inspire curiosity and shape a generation of talent prepared for future global challenges. So, round of applause.
All right. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? All right. Hey, thank you. Hey, well done, Chris. Hey, I know it's such an honor to be here tonight. Chris really has been leading the charge here doing a lot of the heavy lifting back in the headquarters office to make this happen. So, hey, how about one more round of applause for Chris? Thank you so much for your leadership. And fun fact for those who are interested in autonomy, she's the one who leads autonomy for the United States Navy. So ask her for advice. She's the one who's leading the way for our whole U.S. Navy team. Hey, I know like the last thing you want to hear is a lot of droning on from me because you got some awards to get and on with your evening. But I do want to take a moment to thank all of you for coming out here and being part of this event. It is inspiring. It is inspiring. I got to walk into the tent. The minute I was in there, I felt the energy, the teaming. You are making lifelong connections that are just so important, and you're making the planet a better place because you're forging technology to do things that we all needed to do. And so for your professors out there, our educators that came with you, thank them. Right? They could be doing all kinds of other things, but instead they're focusing on building the next generation. So how about a round of applause for all the educators, coaches, and the folks that made this happen. They are heroes. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank RoboNation for the terrific support. We're honored. Holy cow, you got to get that picture off. I don't know who that old bald guy is, but it's an honor to serve alongside with you and be part of all this. So anyway, hey, as you head back and you travel back, continue to make those contacts. Enjoy it. We're all counting on you to make a brighter future for all of us as students and engineers and scientists and everything else you might be doing in your future. So again, thanks so much, and back to you, Daryl, and please get that picture off that screen. Thank you.
As he passes the mic from one bald man to another, it's my honor. All right, so now we're actually getting into the awards part of it, what you have endured the rest of that to get to this part. And I want to just give you the simple instructions first. So what we're going to do to try to streamline this is that when your team gets an award, send one person up. Okay, so we're going to do that, just one person up and down. And once we get through all of the awards, the very last award that we have will be a full team picture. And then once we conclude the ceremony, then you can come up here and take all the pictures you want. But we want to sort of compress the team part of it, the awards part of it. So please only send one team representative up when your team name is called. All right, good? One. All right, so one of our longtime sponsors is MathWorks. And I'm going to ask Abhishek Shankar to come up, and he's got something to say, and he's not bald.
Thank you guys, everyone, for participating. This was the first year we did the MathWorks Simulation Award, and we saw a lot of good participation. A lot of you guys used our tools, and I'm very happy that our tools helped you achieve your goals out there in the water. So let me get into the awards. I don't want to take up too much of your time. The second place for the award goes to University of Newcastle. Hi, that's Thomas. Congratulations. Alright, and the first place, as you can see on the screen, is Lake Superior State University. Of course. Thank you. Congrats. Both the teams did a great job. Lake Superior University did a lot of good work on simulating drone landing and takeoff, and Newcastle did a lot of good work on fusing LiDAR and camera. So one more round of applause to both the teams. I'll pass it back on.
Thank you, Abhishek. And thank you again to MathWorks. All right, now it's my pleasure to introduce Kelly Cooper. Kelly is actually the founding sponsor, as I mentioned earlier. When we started RobotX, we started the work of it 12 years ago, and it culminated with that first event in Singapore in 2014, which has spawned all of this. So Kelly is the one that did all the early legwork, and Kelly, in her role this year, is the lead assessment judge. So Kelly, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here. I first became aware of RoboNation as the AVSI Associate, something. But the name was too long, nobody could remember it, so they are now RoboNation. But I was struck at the Robo Sub competition by how much all the teams cooperated with one another and helped each other to achieve or accomplish something that maybe they couldn't do when they first arrived. And I believe I coined the term cooperation, but I have since learned that First Robotics is copyrighted that term. But I want to applaud you guys because you still are doing that. I saw so many instances of teams helping other teams that were in direct competition with them without any regard to what the final score was going to be. How could they help each other? And I think you've all learned from each other, and if I could give everybody an award for that, I would. However, there were some very exemplary things that we like to call out that aren't necessarily awarded as part of the competition with your documentation and your performance on the water. And with the first of those, a little story. This is a team that started as a high school team, and some of those students are now in college, but they still recruit students from high school. The judges were really impressed with several things, and several of the teams nominated this particular team for assisting them. The other thing is that the judges, when we were doing the system assessment, asked them to please tell us what tasks they were going to accomplish and how that drove their decisions for their systems. And this team really understood the question because they said, oh, well, the first thing we did was we work in our garage, so everything had to fit in our garage. So regardless what tasks we did, that was the driving influence for our design. They really understood the why question. And with that, I would like to acknowledge the team from Advancing Science, Technology, Art, University of California, San Diego, and a check for $1,500 for their support. I have to say there was almost a full-page write-up from all the judges, so I won't read all of that, but we'll share it with them later. All right. The next award, there was a team that had a really great situational awareness beacon, and that the judges could see it from anywhere out on Nathan Benderson. We always knew what condition they were in, and it was rather a strobe effect. The other thing that the assessment judges really liked about this team is that when they had to ship their boat here 3 months in advance, they had no boat to work with, and they went out on a football field and wheeled their systems around and used people to be the barriers and the obstacles that everything had to go around. And the other thing they did, which I really liked, was that they inherited a boat that really didn't work. So their mechanical systems didn't work, and some of their autonomy didn't work. And they realized that none of it would work if they could not reliably work remote control. So they really focused on that. They told us once they had 5 perfect days out in the field, then they concentrated on using the VRX simulation models to create the autonomy that they were going to use. And only then did they port all of that over to their platform, which was the original intention of the VRX. And I know a lot of people are using it, but this was something I'd like to call out especially for Newcastle University. And a check for $1,500. All of the teams really exhibit a lot of spirit, and we just love all of you guys, and we love your enthusiasm and your passion for what you're doing. But one team stood out especially. And in addition to that, they never gave up. They were always smiling. They never complained about anything. But they also had a very reliable search pattern that they were able to demonstrate over and over with their air vehicle. And for that, the Most Spirited Award and repeatable drone search pattern, the University from Chile, and a check for $1,000. Many of you are asked to, it was an optional additional documentation that you could provide, and several teams did provide a list of their outreach activities. But we were most impressed by all of the activities, and I'm sure many of you are doing outreach that you just didn't have time to submit documentation for. However, community outreach, because of the work that they did after the hurricanes, when people in their community were really hurting, they stopped thinking about themselves, and they created a funding source and did a fundraiser for those people in their community that were hurt by the recent hurricanes. And for that, we would like to acknowledge University of Louisiana at Lafayette. There were many teams that suffered a lot of setbacks, but this team really suffered setbacks before they even started. They had literally no money. I'm saying their budget for the entire thing was $2,000. And you know, we know what it costs to be here. They made it work. And in the face of all the difficulties they had, they were very resilient. They kept trying. They never quit working. We'd like to acknowledge Lake Superior State University and an award of $500. And I probably had that story backwards, but we can correct that later. All right. This next team was acknowledged for several things, and we had the special awards or the judges awards discussion on Thursday. And my question was, do we think nothing good's going to happen on Friday or Saturday? And in fact, many good things happened on Friday and Saturday. One of which was that this team, one of the things that the judges during the assessment really liked was their use of a zoom camera after they had a large field to understand the heuristics of what was going on in the field, but then they had a zoom camera so they could zoom in on anything of interest, which really helped their performance. Would also say that this team, when they qualified during a wild card run, had the highest qualifying score of the entire competition. And with a check for $1,000 to Korea Maritime and Ocean University. Well done. So there's always hope for a wild card team. They did very well. All right. The next award is for technical innovation. And I want to say this was nominated by the judges, in particular Zaz. So if you want a good story, and I'm sure he has a good story to tell, you should talk to him about this. But a great example of students using the WAM-V on various master's theses and also in research papers. And this was an excellent example of really good research done with the WAM-V platform, and a check for $1,000 to Florida Atlantic University. I could tell a story about Clayton, but you'll have to buy me a drink and I'll pass it on. Great. All right. The next award is for technical innovation, and I'm having trouble seeing the red print here. But again, this was something that Zaz and the event staff really wanted to acknowledge. They appreciated. This team was very ready to go on the water. They had an excellently worked out logistics launch sequence. They've been in the water lots, and you could really tell they knew how to get their boat in the water. And also, there are technical achievements, which I can't read, but I'll share with you later. And a check for $1,000 for Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And the last Judges Award is to recognize a team that first came to Sydney, but they had gotten their boat rather late and they didn't have time to work on it, and shipping was so expensive, there was no reason to ship a boat which was not going to go in the water. But the team showed up anyway in Sydney to learn about the competition, and they brought an aerial vehicle. They did very well with it until the last day when they crashed it. This year, they were able to show up with a boat, no aerial vehicle, but we hope they'll get that in 2026. The other thing that the assessment judges did in asking each of the teams, we wanted to know what tasks you were going to accomplish and what design decisions, which equipment you chose, what were those things that drove your design based on what you were going to do. Every other team that we evaluated did not answer the question. I felt like I was at a political debate. They had already had their 2 or 3 minute answer to what they wanted to talk to the judges about, and that's what they did. This team immediately pivoted and said, we're going to do task 1, and this is the equipment that will assist us. Task 2, this is the equipment, and task 3. That's all we're going to do. But they knew why they were doing what they were doing, that they only had a limited amount of time and they were taking baby steps. And they were able really to understand that. So we would like to award George Mason University a check of $500 for assistance engineering understanding. And with that, I will turn it over to Carolyn Judge, who has some other awards to announce. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So I am going to be the one awarding our technical documentation awards. So all of you are well aware that you are working hard on that even before you got here. So there were three awards that you gave prior to even showing up. So you submitted your technical design reports, you created websites, and created videos. And then once you were here, you were giving a presentation to the judges up in the tower, and then answering all those questions of the assessment judges. So those documentation scores were all rolled up and evaluated. And so we're going to go through them, starting with Kailuche in 5th place with a check for $1,000. And then in fourth place, we had Team Amore, who are going to be receiving a check for $2,000. In third place, we have Team Inspiration, and they will be receiving a check for $3,000. In second place, and also receiving the Top Technical Design Report Award, is Embry-Riddle Team Minion for fourth check for $6,000. And in first place, along with winning the top video, top website, top presentation, and top assessment award, is Team Bumblebee with a check for $13,000. All right, so now I'm going to introduce someone you are all familiar with and who you were really competing with during this whole time to give the Autonomy Challenge Awards, and that's a Technical Director, Amir Kuyumi.
Thank you, Carolyn. Well, it's good to see all of you here in the dark. I want to first start by thanking my team again, the tech team that helped make all this possible. Thanks, guys. This could not have been done without any of all of you. Just a round of applause for them real quick, if you don't mind. Just thank you all for all the time in the sun. This was a very exciting RobotX. We had 10 teams make the semifinals, 6 into the finals. We had actually had a slot for the wild card. We actually had 2 teams qualify for the semifinals on the first full day. That's never happened before. Really exciting, great work, all of you. All of you did an amazing job out there. Unfortunately, we have to narrow it down to 6 people who we can give the final awards to. And I'm going to start with 6th place with Florida Atlantic University Autonomous with a check for $2,500. And in 5th place, we have a team that got into the semifinals and the finals very quickly. They knocked out a lot of challenges in a very short amount of time. I've seen that before from this team, I believe, a couple years back. So at 5th place, we have Nanyang Technological University, Team Archimedes. They will be getting a check for $4,000. And in 4th place, we have a team that has been doing this for a little while, different ages. As Kelly mentioned before, as was mentioned before, they started high school students. They kind of have been growing up and growing with us in all these competitions. So in 4th place, we have Advancing Science, Technology, and Art, Team Inspiration, with a check for $5,000. And now we're into the top 3. You can probably guess based on the finals who was in there. So in 3rd place, we have a team who's been here a while. We have Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Team Minion, with a check for $10,000. In second place, we have Korea Maritime and Ocean University, KMOU Macro, $15,000 check. Congratulations. And this year's first place team, maybe the biggest team here, I'm not sure. It's a pretty close one between you and the Chilean team. Because you'll be louder in a minute here. But I've got first place, National University of Singapore team, Bumblebee, with a check for $30,000. Can we get the whole team up here on the stage? I don't know if we can fit you either, but we'll try. Let's not get everyone on the same side of the dock again. Forward. Thank you again, and congratulations to all the teams. I saw some amazing innovation, amazing work all week. It was such a pleasure to work with you guys. I look forward to seeing you again in 2 years, either from industry or still in school, maybe, I don't know. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Daryl Davidson for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Amir. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. I've got just a couple of things to remind you of before we break. Let's just give another big round of applause to all of the competitors because you've all learned a lot, you've demonstrated a lot, and we've enjoyed watching you. All right, so just to be clear, the checks that we just gave you will not work at a bank. Sometimes there's some confusion. It'll look great on a wall. Post it somewhere, take pictures with it, do something exciting and post it on social media. But we will be contacting you in the next week or two and getting all of the details that we need to actually send you real money. All right? Good. All of you have a team flag that are back here behind me. Those flags are yours. Each team gets to keep your flag. Do not take the pole. We want those. You get the flag. And you can put it next to your check, wherever you hang your check. They want the poles, Sherry. All right, sorry. If you really want, we can, for whatever reason, we can send you a link of where to buy your own pole. My guess is that you can probably make something cheaper than you would buy it from wherever we got it from. All right? Okay, so the fireworks are going to be starting over here. This is going to get crazy. If you want to leave here and go to the fireworks, good luck. If you don't want to get stuck because you cannot drive through that road and exit out onto University, you're going to get stuck because they've shut down Cattleman Road. If you want to go out and get back to wherever you want to go, especially the hotel, make sure you go out to the right when you leave the venue. All right? And I think you've all got your information about teardown and shipping and all the other good stuff. And if you don't, Sherry is going to answer your questions afterwards. Reminder that you can come up here and take pictures tonight. We're going to be here for a little while for you to take your pictures. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that please connect with us, RoboNation, me, and anyone else on the staff on LinkedIn. That's where we want to really start building up a part of the community and communicating with you and watching your success. So don't hesitate, reach out to any of us on LinkedIn, and we would love to connect with you. Congratulations. For those that don't want to wait 2 years to come back and play with a boat, our Robo Boat competition will take place in this venue in March. So it's a smaller platform. You get to build your own, but I would encourage you to look up RoboBoat because it will help you in your development of RobotX 2026. Thank you very much and have a great night. Oh yeah, by the way, last announcement. See, timing was perfect. We are giving free entry admission to RoboBoat 2025 for all the RobotX teams. Thank you. Good night.